Thank you for tuning in to Gloves Off Seattle. Your hosts, Patty and Megan, will be talking about all things Seattle women's hockey. A huge Pacific Northwest welcome to the PWHL. Gloves Off Seattle! We can also talk, but it's even more fun if I have it recorded, because then if it's cool stuff that comes out, then I can use it for later.
Oh, you know what we should talk about is how do you feel about like queer stuff in PWHL? Because you guys are queer, right? So
Oh, we're queer. We are.
yeah, I
I'm
know,
lesbian,
obviously,
she's
but
queer.
it's like that is like right, like
It's
that's something to
huge.
talk about.
Yes,
It's not
it is
necessarily
huge.
everybody's always talking about
This
that.
is true. Yes. I think that there is obviously a huge queer contingent within the PWHL. I think, it's what's her name? Coach Jackie on TikTok.
Oh, I love Coach Jackie.
Yeah.
I love her series that she does.
Is she
Are they
gay?
gay, or
Are
is
they
she
gay?
or is she just a women's basketball coach or whatever? Like those are my favorites. But no.
Coach Jackie on here.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. I would love to have Coach
We
Jackie
need
on
Coach
here.
Jackie to come to a PWHL Seattle game.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Coach Jackie, official invite.
Yeah, stay at my place.
There you go. You got some place to stay. I love it. So no, I mean, definitely queer culture. I think I think this is one of the probably the most open, like places for queer women, especially. The fact that CJ is non-binary, I think that that's obviously it's a huge step as far as like just having the ability for people to be out. There's
Inclusivity.
a married couple that play together, like that. It to me, I've never seen anything like this in a professional sports league before, as far as like just the openness to, the queer community.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. I mean, it's encouraging. It makes me feel like I could go to anything and be out and not be concerned. I mean, we live in Washington State. Like, it's very queer friendly. It's not like I have to worry about it anyway, but I feel like it's a really good vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go lesbians.
The sign, of course, yeah. And I mean, where was it where they had a sign? I think it was on one of the takeover tour ones where they had the sign and it was like, "Let's go lesbians."
She was
and
trying
they
to go
wouldn't
to
let them. They
the
wouldn't
Boston
let
Oh,
them
I
get
heard
in.
about that.
Yeah. She was trying to go to the Boston game, and it ended up being the security at the rink, not the PWHL.
Yeah,
the PWHL like
totally embraced her and let them come back, and
I think they got us tickets to a
celebrated it.
Sirens game after
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, which goes to show that we're opening minds. I think we're opening minds as we go, because just the visibility and the inclusivity and the safety of it.
Yeah.
That it's just
Well, I think
seems
normalization.
acceptable.
I think to me, it's like the normalization. Like, we're just like, for us, like, we're just a married couple. Like, it doesn't, like, to me, it doesn't matter that we're both women. Like, we're just a married couple, right? And so, like, for me, it's like the fact that I can see like Stacy and Poulin, like, they're just living their lives, man. They just happen to be married to each other, but and both professional athletes. I think that's amazing. Like, I think we need more of that. So
Definitely.
yeah. What are your thoughts?
I don't have fully formed thoughts, so I'll just work my way through it. But yeah, I love how queer of a league it is. I love how queer the fan base is. The fan base is amazing. I think it'll be interesting to see how it gets more mainstream. If it becomes more mainstream, how the fan base will change. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's not just the normalization, like you said, but even just like other hockey fans that maybe have different views and, like, yeah, NHL fans or other hockey fans that might be
Will open their minds.
yeah, it will open their minds, because the thing is, it's like people love hockey,
Right.
and like it is cool. Like, and obviously, it's great to see like the way the community is right now, and like I don't want it to change or anything, but it's like it'll be really interesting to see what it's like when it is like really, really becomes really, really mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Because I think we are at that inflection point, so I think that'll be interesting. Yeah, I love how queer the league is. I love.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that's part of what took me a while to even get into hockey, was because NHL crowds aren't like that all the time.
That's true. That's true.
So that's
Really?
I mean, the visibility part is not there. There's definitely not. I mean, there are fans.
no NHL players.
There's one.
No, he's not in
NHL.
NHL.
No, he's in minor league.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
he's
Oh,
minor
you're
league.
right. Oh no, because he's gonna be the grand marshal of some gay pride parade. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's still a stigma. And I mean, most of the NHL arenas have pride nights, and the teams have pride nights, but even that's made fun of. And we've seen that stuff in the comments on social media,
Oh,
that,
geez.
you know, and it's disheartening.
Right.
At the same time, I think it's opening up, and people are becoming more accepting. Hopefully, it's not turning around.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see as a league because there's so many open and out players, like I just don't see them as a league changing any of that to put people back in the closet or normal, make it heteronormative to please an audience. Like
Yeah.
I just don't I mean,
I'm
especially
not saying that'll happen.
no, I know, but also because just like, Billie Jean King is like on the advisory board,
And
like
the people in leadership positions
are
are
lesbians.
lesbians.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like I just don't see I don't see it changing
Yeah.
either. I
And
think it's
Billie Jean King's wife too.
yes,
She's
yeah, they're both
up there.
on the what I don't know.
The board.
The board, the something.
Yeah.
I don't know, they got it started. So yeah, I think that's how I feel about that. I love the queerness. I love the connection. I love the fact that just the normalization. There's no
It honestly feels like coming home. Like this team was destined, and just as a couple to go from, because I was a season ticket holder for so long down south, and that I left those tickets and came up here, that this
she
came
gave up her
here.
tickets for me. Like I don't like
That is a true love.
I know. Well, and the funny story about that, and we haven't even told this part of the story, is that when we started dating and we were long distance, and we just started having the conversation about her moving up here, and I said, "Okay, well, you can't give up your season." She had said, "Well, I could give up my season tickets." I'm like, "No, you can't give up your season tickets. Like that's your happy place." And that's when she said she knew
that I would be a possibility, because if she had said something like, "What do you mean you can't?" Like if she had not been that supportive and be like,
well, no, because you had said I'm going to give them up, and I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like that's
it was just
your joy. Like your joy is going to see hockey. Like you can't give
Yeah.
that up. Yeah.
I knew.
Yeah, but that's why we're so happy now that we have a team that we can both be behind.
As a
And
family, even.
take the kids. Take the kids, definitely. Well, and I think it's important because both of our kids are male. And so I think it's really important for them to celebrate, women's sports as well as men. I mean, as young men. Boys, they're not men.
They're young men.
They're young men, as young men.
They're growing young
So I
men.
think I think the fact that they'll get to see that celebrated and get to enjoy that, and they love hockey. I mean, they love going to games. They have a blast. So these games will be fun for them too. So,
so excited.
Not necessarily related, but I just want to say it while we're on the podcast, which is that's the reason I love women's sports. Like not just because I love women's sports, not just I like watching sports, not just I love women, but I love that it gives people a space where they can be free and they can redefine like themselves. Like it feels like they can do whatever they want.
Right.
It's like so empowering to me to see like somebody doing something that they're good at and like saying, I don't have to conform to society. I can be amazing at this.
Right.
It's just like, it's just so beautiful.
Okay.
To me.
So
like it's, aside from even just the sport.
I love this conversation, but I'm going to be a Debbie Downer right now.
Why?
I know, because this is my very big frustration. We looked up the salaries.
Oh, it's not good.
Oh no, let's have a whole conversation about that because I have so many opinions.
Okay, we're gonna have a whole conversation. So I agree with you. I love the fact that there is a place for women to be able to live their dream, and if their dream is to play professional hockey, like I love the fact that we have this league. I am struggling right now with the fact that this is, even if they're only in contract for 6 months out of the year, the amount that they're getting paid is not livable. And I am bothered.
Yeah.
Bothered by that. Knowing that the highest paid salary in the league is between 70 and 80 grand a year is, well, and we found out, and it's sickening because we found out that the minimum, the salary
35.
minimum, no, I'm talking in the NHL.
Oh.
The salary minimum in the NHL, 750,000.
Oh yeah.
So 10%, the highest paid PWHL player is making 10% of the lowest paid NHL player. And I just like, I get it, the season's shorter. It's not 10% of the NHL season though.
Okay, here's my take.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
So I agree that it's not where it needs to be, but I'm coming at it from a place of optimism because here's what I'm looking at. Do you know Naomi Girma?
No.
She's a soccer player. She's got signed for $1 million. $1 million. First $1 million women's soccer
That's
player.
awesome.
And again, that's
It's
one
about
player.
same time, yeah.
Again, that's one player. And again, in other sports like tennis, they do make a lot more. I'm just saying, like, it's not where it needs to be
Right.
right now, but this is the first step. This is, again, it is nowhere near where it needs to be.
Right.
So I'm not condoning that, but it's the first step of where it needs to be, and it is significantly better than what we had before.
And we need to prove that we can show up. We need to prove that you can sell seats in the women's for the women's sports.
Yeah.
We need to prove that everyone will continually show up.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing that with the season ticket holder base. That it started so strong.
Yeah.
And-
10,000 season tickets sold
Mhm.
between Vancouver and Seattle. That's amazing.
Like, and again, it's not where it needs to be, but I'm so happy at where it is. I'm
Okay.
really proud of what they negotiated. I'm proud. Like, again, I know it's bad because the bar's a little on the floor, but do you guys know how much they were making before?
No, I have no idea.
Let me tell you, because you're going to be like, what the heck? So,
I'm already like, what
so
the heck?
do you know about like CWHL?
No, what does CW?
So that was
Oh,
like,
was that the defunct league?
so there was
yeah.
two different, so it was like PHF, which was
Oh,
kind of
I think
like,
it's PHF.
so there was the
too.
PHF, but there was also the CWHL. There was basically like two leagues.
Okay.
CWHL folded because,
That's the Canadian women's soccer
yeah,
league.
but
Okay.
there was also players that were basically trying to go up to CWHL, even though they might have been making more in PHF. There was a bunch of, I won't call it drama, but there was a lot of issues, but they were not making anything in those leagues. In CWHL, it was like $100,000 for the entire team. The entire team, bro. No health insurance.
Yeah, no.
So clearly not livable. And again, what we have right now isn't perfect,
Right.
but it's a huge step.
That's obviously better
Like
than.
they have like maternity leave and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I think I read through their contract, and I forget exactly what it was, but they negotiated an average salary too, which I think was really good. That they
Yeah.
negotiated for average.
Right.
So again, it's not where it needs to be.
Right.
But like,
It's a
if
step
you
in the
go
right
if you
direction.
go look at the old numbers, it's like
Like
night
this
and
about-
day,
Yeah.
night and day.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well.
it's again,
I like that.
I hear what you're saying, and
Yeah.
it shocked me too when I first read it.
Well,
I just had time to.
I
sit
just
with it.
struggle because I'm like, how do they live? And like, what do they have to do in the off season to just be able to like survive? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, not everybody has, endorsements. Like, I
Right.
mean, only a few people have endorsements, right? And so everybody else in the league, like, they're having to do stuff in the off season to make ends meet. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like as a professional athlete, that shouldn't be the expectation.
And the biggest issue right now is with reserve players.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how much they
tell me-
make,
yeah, tell
but
me
they
about
don't
that.
really make much because it's like a reserve player, that's not a livable wage.
Okay.
I don't think they make very much because they don't even get like the 35,000 thing.
Well, 35 grand isn't a livable wage. Like,
Oh,
that's
I
the
know
thing.
it's
Like,
not,
you
but-
can't live off of $35,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It's
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, I don't know. If there's one thing that I would like to see change like quickly in the league, it would be that. It would just be that they pay them,
I want them to make more, but again, I think what we'll see, like, what the really good thing about this league is that there's investment. And again, the salaries aren't there, but you can tell that there is investment. So I think it's only up from here. This
Okay.
is what we had to start with.
Okay.
Nothing's ever perfect, but
No.
I'm even just looking at look at WNBA, look at NWSL,
Okay.
right? Like,
I don't know what the salary differences
so
are
Caitlin
between.
Clark, when
Yeah.
how much do you think she made?
I have no idea.
Her salary was like 70K. WNBA.
Wow. Yeah.
It's bad for all these leagues, but we're at the tipping point right now. I really do think we're at the tipping point
Okay.
right now.
Where it's going to get better.
So we'll see. And if
Okay.
it's gonna get better, it's just the reality of the situation for right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's a tough reality. And what this actually makes me think of though is like this gives me even more respect for players. Like think about Poulin. She's been playing for 15 years.
Oh yeah, no, she's
she makes money from sponsorships.
Well, that's
but-
what I'm saying. Like, I mean, she's got this. Yeah, she's got the endorsement. She's got contracts with a whole bunch of people that she's making money from, and it's like worth. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve any of that. She 100% deserves
100%.
it. 100% deserves it. That and more. It's just the problem is like I feel like it's like they don't pay them enough to just do this. Like they have to do this and something in order to make a living. So
I agree 100%.
yeah, that's hard.
I agree 100%. It needs to change.
Yeah,
And I hope it does.
yeah, me too.
I think we're trending up.
We're being part of the change right now.
That's right. Part of the change.
So
Okay, what else?
that was a good topic.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I don't even remember why we started talking about that. We were having a conversation.
Yeah, how did that come up?
I don't know. And then we started doing we started Googling like what's the average
Mm.
and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, oh, what do NHL players make? The average player makes like 2.5 million.
It'll make
Yeah.
you really mad.
No, it does make me mad.
Yeah.
Because the thing is they don't do anything they're not doing anything that the women players aren't doing, you
Mhm.
know? So,
It's
and
just all investment.
it is all investment. And I know this is ground, we're still ground floor, even though I know inaugural 6, like we're 8, like it's still the ground floor. We're still moving, we're still building. So, yeah.
I like the trajectory.
Me too.
Okay. Episode.
Okay, what do you want to see next
Yeah,
year?
what do you
Oh
want
yeah,
to
so
say?
here's
Yeah.
what I really want to see. So I really like looking at statistics and stuff. But the issue is for like PW, they don't have the same amount of data available as for NHL.
Okay.
And it's hard for me to look through the PWHL website and find the statistics that I want sometimes. So I think that they could do more to make the data accessible. And also they need more types of data because when I look at the play-by-play data, they don't even have like shot attempts. They don't have like they don't have shot attempts. They have shots, they don't have shot attempts. They don't have like expected goals. I think it would be cool to have more data accessible, and more people analyzing the data for the lay people.
Do you know what my wish list
That's
item
more
is?
money. That's more salaries. That's more people that you have to pay to do that and watch that. And
we
stuff.
have Mark Walter. If he can pay for it.
No, but this is funny because we were just talking about this when we were watching the game yesterday, is that I was like, you know what I really like about when we watch the Ducks game is that they have the time on ice. They
Yeah.
have everybody's time on ice down below. And I was like, I would love to be able to see time on ice just because like that's an interesting thing. Number one, it helps me know if the players that I want to pay attention to are on the ice, but also like how long they've been on the ice, right? And we were talking about, yeah, like that's one of those things that it's like, I would love to see that happen, but it also like that you would have to pay somebody to do that, and like, would I rather have them pay somebody to put time on ice or pay the players more?
That is true. Yeah. I mean, it's all about like production costs.
But
Where
I
you
do
spend your
agree
money.
with you. I think more stats. We talk about this when they flash stuff up on the stream. It's like throw her numbers up. Like, why can't we see her numbers? Like, that sort of thing. So it would be nice to see more of that.
It would be nice, but we need more sponsors. I mean, look at all the empty ad space. Is that
Well,
just
no,
YouTube?
that's just YouTube
That's
because
just
that's what
YouTube.
it's because I think the Canadian network that airs it, that's their ad space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I want a US broadcast deal. That's
Well,
the main
yeah.
thing.
Why don't they make a broadcast deal with YouTube? They could be making money off of YouTube
I don't know
ads.
how that works.
They could.
You should tell me. I don't know how it works.
You don't know how it works?
No.
Oh, yeah. Like once you get to a certain level, like a subscriber base, like you can start like monetizing off ads. And so YouTube has basically made itself a streaming service now. Like, and so what they're doing is they're using it as a streaming service. So just like all the other streaming services, like TV used to do, you can sell your ad space. And so they could sell ad space, like where they put that, the ad break, graphic up. They could make a deal with YouTube to sell that ad space and have more money coming in.
Yeah. What I'm wondering is maybe they're holding off on that because they don't want to commit to that before getting something better. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
That's true. And obviously like if they commit to something, I would like it to be something that we have access to. Because that's the other thing is that it's really frustrating when you can't, when you don't have access to whatever the streaming service is.
And what do we find out on YouTube the other day? Because we're on delay when the game started at 4 p.m. We're on delay, and we hit delay, we hit pause, and then it went to screensaver or whatever.
Yeah.
And it stopped. And when we went back to look for it on YouTube to watch the game again, the game was not available.
After it was over.
After it was over. You could only access it when it was live.
Yeah, when the game was live, it was there, but then once it's over, and I
then
don't know how long it takes them to post the games afterwards, because I know the games are up, but
sometimes they delete it immediately, but normally if I go in my history, I can click on it in my history.
Okay.
So try doing that.
Yeah, maybe next time. Yeah.
Save the link.
Yeah, well, we're streaming it on the YouTube app on the TV, like what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, we watch on the computer like the other day when we get demoted to the computer because the boys are gaming. But other than that, like we watch it on TV. So yeah. But that's what I would like to see. Time on ice.
Yeah.
I would love to see
So
that.
more
So-
stats.
Normally, yeah, sorry, I'm getting off track here, but normally when I do look up the time on ice, I have to go on like Twitter or
Oh,
Reddit
yeah,
and it'd be like,
yeah.
oh, who has this? You can find time on ice for specific players on the website, but it's hard because
No,
you have
for
to
sure.
click into individual players.
But that's also like their total time on ice. Like I'm
Right.
talking about like literally
Yes.
like
Shift.
live
Yeah,
shift, like for
yes.
shift time on
Yes.
ice. That's like in Rogers Arena on the
That was on
Jumbotron,
the
they had the shift times.
And
I
you
was
could
like, oh
see
my
it.
gosh, it was
Yeah.
great. Because
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, it's like I'm watching it on TV. Like I know who's on the ice and I know how long they've been on the ice. I have one player for the Ducks that I like to watch, so I like to see when he's on the ice and how long he's been on the ice. He's one of my young studs.
Mhm.
That's what there's 3 young studs on that team, so they're just young guys. I just call them young studs.
Nice.
Yeah. So I do have favorite players. We never went back to that,
Mm,
but I mean, we know mine.
Yeah.
I love CJ.
Total CJ.
And it's all about their personality, like 100%. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, they're a good goalie too. Like, don't hear me wrong, but like the personality is like my favorite thing, which is why I like players. So my favorite player in the minor league team that we watched nicknamed him Chocolate Milk because he's a 20-year-old with a big old fat brown mustache.
Oh my
It made me
gosh.
laugh so hard. And he was a great player. He was so fun to watch. But like his personality like was my favorite part of he just like had such a little personality. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's why I fall in love with players because there's more. I mean, I like to watch the players that are fun on the ice, but I like it when they have personality too.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get any
Yeah.
favorites right now because I want to see Seattle. I
Yeah.
want to save my allegiance and my energy to the team that I want to get behind because I'm all in for Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm
That
all in
makes
for
sense.
Seattle.
You're gonna be the biggest Seattle fan.
I hope to be.
Yeah.
So
It'll
that's
be
it.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. I mean, I'm enjoying watching Phillips a lot. She's amazing.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna go
It's funny that
far.
we're goalies, like we're
I
goalie
know.
heavy.
Yeah.
It's funny because
Mm.
your favorite player on the Thunderbirds was a goalie too.
I mean, but I enjoyed watching the team.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That was really what we got behind this last year because they were local and we could go see them live,
Yeah.
so we were really behind them.
But we knew. If
Poor
Seattle-
Thunderbirds. I know they lost 2 fans when Seattle got a
Oh.
women's hockey team for sure.
Season ticket holder deposits.
Yeah,
now
we were
because
like-
we wanted to get in somewhere and we're like, we gotta wait because
Yeah, we said we weren't going to do it until we knew whether the
Yeah.
women's hockey league was
I
going to
said it from the beginning. I'm like, Seattle, Vancouver is the perfect thing because the travel, it's compact. You can come out and come back, and it's really. I like Minnesota. Back, I knew. Well,
You
okay, I
knew.
didn't know, but I knew.
You
I
said
hoped.
you knew.
I was
You
very
said-
hopeful.
Yeah, we were very hopeful.
Yeah.
Okay, who are your favorite players?
Other than MPP, so I'm also a Boston fan, and I'm really rocking with Alina Mueller.
Okay.
Really rocking with Alina Mueller because I love her creativity. I love that she's like a smaller player because I feel like there are certain archetypes of like, oh, you have to be big, I guess.
The smaller players have
But
such
the
good
smaller
stuff.
players, I really like her. I really like watching her. Like she's exciting to me. And I also was really intrigued by Hannah Bilka because she was injured for a lot of this season, but like she was really cooking.
Mm.
Like she's just like a fun, creative player, and I think that's kind of what I'm drawn to.
Okay.
So yeah,
Is there a position that you normally like? Do you like
Forwards, defense.
maybe forwards, but I also really like the goalies too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I also like the defenders. I feel like I'm an interesting fan because I really like everything. I'm like I think I'm not as laser focused in on like certain players sometimes. Like
Yes.
I'm kind of like I'm like the details of everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Where I'm very much like I will find one person and they will
That's
be my
funny because in
person.
life she's such a big picture person, and I see you as a big picture of the team, like the team picture. You're like
Yeah.
honed in on, and that's her whole life. But she is like,
I normally get like
CJ.
super laser focused on one player and then I just hyper focus.
Hmm.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I hope CJ stays in Toronto because they have such a big fan base
Uh,
there. Sorry, I know you want them to come
No,
to
it's fine.
Seattle.
It's totally fine.
I mean, maybe
I want whatever players we need to get together to have a good team. That's what I want. I also want to know who our coach is going to be. Like
that's a big question. That's a big
I know everybody
question.
wants Jessica Campbell. I don't know if she's going to do it.
I don't think she's gonna.
I don't think she's going to do it either because obviously she's going to get paid more. if She stays in the
Mhm.
NHL. But yeah, I don't know.
I hope it's a good vibe.
Oh, I do too. I
I
hope.
hope it's a woman. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, it's okay to say. That's another thing I like about this league. A lot of women coaches.
Yes.
I really love the Corey versus Carla playoff series.
That's so
Like, not enough
funny.
people are talking about that. That was the Coy versus Carla series,
It was, okay.
right?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think they definitely have they're very different coaches. They coach very differently, for sure. They definitely have different vibes. I mean, like I said, like that video that you posted of Corey doing her little like, celebration, like after she got off the ice, just really shows like how, professional she feels like she needs to be. And I mean, I think that's super cool. But then, Carla's just seemed like let's have fun, guys.
Hockey's fun.
Hockey's fun.
I think we need more of that in Montreal, because Montreal, they take their hockey very serious.
Yeah.
And the press is no joke there.
Oh no.
No.
So
So
it's front page news.
I feel like, I don't know, like if Carla was the coach of Montreal, I don't know how that would work, to be honest.
Interesting. Canadian hockey.
Yeah.
And specifically Montreal, I think, because it's like that original six vibe. There's
Yeah.
just such a long
Yeah.
legacy in that
Toronto
city.
too.
You think Toronto's that way too?
Yeah.
Who's Toronto's coach?
Mm.
You don't know
Oh,
this?
Troy Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Discount.
Discount who?
Did
I'm
you
like,
discount
it's
as
a
a man?
man.
It's a man.
Oh yeah, I actually like Troy a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, because think about it, like, he put CJ in on Pride Night. He knew what he was doing.
That's true. I mean,
Like, he's low-key cooking.
yeah. I mean, like I said, all these teams are good. All these teams, they're making good decisions. Like, I think they're making wise decisions. I just think Montreal they did not have a good series. And I think you said, I think I was watching one of your posts earlier today. It's like some teams just aren't good playoff teams. Like they just can't, when they get there, they just can't make it happen.
Like, Montreal can be a good playoff team. I think they just need to draft to make a good playoff team. Because the way the team is right now, it's not a good playoff team. And that's okay.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens expansion draft, how things
Sorry, I
shaken
shouldn't
up.
say that. I feel like
Why?
Guitar fans are gonna listen to this and be like, "Why is she being such a hater?"
No, you're not.
I love
being a
guitar,
hater.
but
You can be critical at the same time and love a team.
I was like,
you don't have to be.
She talks
Polly
about the
Pocket,
Ducks
like-
all the time this way. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
When they're not performing the way they should be performing for.
Let's not should on them.
Oh, okay.
But, you don't have to be like this always,
Yeah.
rose-colored everything. Like, I just want to talk about the women. The coaches, the referees, the lines women, the lines person.
People.
I have to find new terminology.
Lines people.
Lines people. Okay.
What did somebody say?
I've heard people say lines person.
Yeah, lines
Yeah.
person. Yeah, line people.
Could be that.
I don't
Line
know.
person, lines person.
You call them zebras a lot.
I do.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a gender neutral term.
It is.
You know which one I really like? It's extra attacker. I
Oh.
like when they say that. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah.
Extra attacker.
I've never
Like,
heard
oh,
you say
watch
that
out.
before.
Yeah, extra attacker on the ice.
Extra attacker on the ice.
When they pull the goalie,
Yeah.
the extra attacker comes out.
Oh, okay.
Like, normalize calling people attackers.
Oh, rather than defense men or
Defender. I like
yeah.
defender.
Yeah,
I like
defender.
defender.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we were struggling.
Defender.
No, somebody
was that?
else. I don't know. It was somebody.
Oh yeah, it was someone on your feed.
I think it was on TikTok. I think
Yeah.
that when I put that out
I
because
know,
you were
defender.
struggling with defensemen.
I do.
Yeah,
I do struggle with that.
calling them
The gender
defensemen.
neutral terms.
Defense.
Yeah.
Defender. That's what
Defender.
that person. I think that person on TikTok
Yeah.
said defender. So
Mm. But even like the the PWHL officials that sit in the box, I see women all the time.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
love that it's inclusive like that.
yeah.
So
I think it'd be interesting to know as far as like administratively, like men to male to female ratio for like people who are working. Because that's something that like in my company, we get these reports that like talk about that. And I work for a very female centric company and I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that my line of succession is all women. But it's helpful, to be able to see yourself, like if you can see yourself represented. So I think it'd be interesting. I mean, my guess is administratively, they probably have a ton of women. Every time like that, when that whole debacle happened with the Let's Go Lesbian sign, the official, people that they brought out, those were all women.
mhm.
So I think that, there's a lot of women in this organization, which I think is for the betterment of everybody.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the biggest thing they're gonna need to work on is like other types of diversity.
100%. There's a lot of
It's
white, you mean there's a lot of white
amazing.
white
It's all
women?
white people, which is fine. Like, I love white people,
But here's my
but
question.
I'm just trying to be real.
No, but I agree with you. So here's my thing is like, okay, look at the NHL. Like, how many players of color are there? There's not very many. So again, back to the minor league team that we were rooting for, the Thunderbirds. I was so excited. There were 2 kids on the team that were obviously like Southeast Asian, like, someplace Southeast. And I was like, yes, like I'm gonna root for them. Like, and then they got traded and I was so mad. But I was just like, I know, but I was just like, it's so nice to see something other than just, the normal white, Canadian, middle of the country looking hockey person. I agree with you.
And again, I love white people. So
No.
but
I am a white person.
it's for the fans. It's for the
Absolutely.
players. It's like, because first of all, we're missing out on talent. First of all,
Right.
if you only have certain type of people playing the sport, you're obviously missing out on talent.
Right.
And then for the fans, it's hard to get people to be a fan if
you
they
can't see
if you
yourself
can't see
there.
yourself.
Yeah.
Right. But but I think the problem is that how do you get more people interested in the sport from a young age?
Right.
If there's not people in the sport that are representative of them. And I think that's the struggle. And what I love about the fact that we now have this awesome professional women's hockey league is that now little girls can go to games and say, I want to grow up and be a professional women's hockey player. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think that's awesome.
So yeah, this is going to be huge for visibility. And
Absolutely.
it's definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in like 20 years, or maybe even 10 years, we're going to start already seeing the impacts of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, yeah. Ground floor, man. That's what I keep thinking.
We are in the ground floor.
Oh no,
And look at even, I'm sorry, I interrupted
no,
you.
go ahead.
Even the press conference when they announced Vancouver, they had the girls up there.
Yeah, they did.
The team, the little girls team. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that's
Yeah.
what they need to be seen. You need to see yourself to say, like, I could do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Amazing. Anything else?
Thank you. I
Yes.
didn't say that. We
Thank
didn't
you,
say
thank
thank
you,
you for
thank you.
coming
Thanks
and
for having me
recording.
here.
Yeah,
I-
absolutely.
Yeah, I never podcasted before, and like
And you did great.
it's
Yeah.
cool. I feel like I still talk too fast and I don't have real thoughts, but like I do have thoughts.
You do have real thoughts.
And-
I talk very fast as well. So don't feel. I mean, I probably slow myself down just because I've done this enough. But I get it. Like I'm also a very fast talker, and I have to remember to like slow down sometimes.
I get too excited because I'm like, nobody else is gonna want to hear me talk about this stuff other than you guys.
But you would be surprised because we have people that are
Yeah.
downloading our podcast. So I
Yeah.
guarantee you people want to hear this. And that's the cool thing. That's what I love about what I've loved about podcasting is you just find your niche and you live there. And like, I'm not looking to like compete with Jocks and Jills. Like I'm not like they've got their thing. They're we joke
Shout
about
out
this.
Tessa, shout out Julia.
Yeah.
We joke.
We love you.
We love you. And we joked, we're like, this is not the podcast for you to get your stats
Oh,
from.
they gave me a shout out on there.
Did they?
Yeah, they watched my video.
Yeah.
Shout out Julia. Shout out
Yes,
Julia.
I love it. No, but that's the thing. And what I also really love about this, this right here, but also about them is like everyone is supporting each other because we're all just in this to lift this league up. Like, and that's why we're like, okay, we want to start a Seattle specific podcast. And right now we're talking about everything because we don't have a team yet to talk about. And good
But
Lord,
we're
as soon
headed
as this
there.
draft happens, you guys are going to be so annoyed with hearing us talk about the players that we're going to get and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, like, that's what's awesome is that everyone is here. And like, I want to be part of a women's movement that is all about like encouraging each other and lifting each other up. And like, how can we make this better? There's no competition. Like, there's no competition here.
We all
Like,
have such unique perspectives.
absolutely. And the thing is that the audience that you're going to be able to reach is different than the audience that we're going to be able to reach. And I just think that that's what we need to do. We need to get our little tentacles out into everything that we can get it and draw as many people in. So that's my soapbox about how I feel like this is going and like why I'm excited about the fact that we're starting this podcast now, like from the very beginning of this team. So yeah.
Excited.
Yay.
And that's why I like that too, because like you're a year. You've been a fan for a year.
You're
Probably
a
a
legit
little more.
hockey fan.
Okay. I've been a little longer than that. But that's what I like because you just got into it. She got into it for me, but she's into it.
I am
She's
into it.
totally into it now. And that you can become a new fan. Like we need new fans.
And I'm a diehard P-Dub fan. That's what's
Oh,
crazy
no.
about me.
Yeah.
That I'm like, my introduction to hockey was P-Dub, which is actually crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
when you
is.
think about it.
It
And
is.
we're gonna be Seattle. You're P-Dub. We're Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And that's the show. Tune in next time for another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.